Imagine joining a massive online platform because you saw someone making these huge, life-changing profits, only to discover later that those incredible trades might never have been real in the first place. Recent bombshell investigations from the Wall Street Journal and Politico have uncovered this wild trail of deceptive advertising, undisclosed payouts, and even an alleged fake website, all pointing toward one of the absolute biggest prediction markets in the world.
Okay, let's dive into this. Welcome to today's explainer. We're unpacking a really fascinating and honestly highly controversial investigation into Polymarket. On one hand, prediction markets pitch themselves as these ultimate truth engines, right? Like tools for forecasting major global events. But on the other hand, investigative journalists are now alleging a hidden casino playbook designed to lure in young users with simulated riches. We're going to look strictly at the facts, the reporting, and the statements from the companies involved to figure out exactly what's going on behind the screens and how this could impact literally anyone scrolling for financial advice.
Section 1. The Rise of Polymarket. To really grasp the scale of these allegations, we first need to understand the platform at the center of the storm. Polymarket is this rapidly growing financial hub that lives right there on your smartphone. Basically, it's a massive prediction market. So instead of buying stocks in a company, you place bets on the outcomes of future events. Will the Federal Reserve cut interest rates? Who's going to be the next prime minister? What price will Bitcoin hit next month? You buy shares in these outcomes, and as the odds shift based on real-world news, the value of your shares changes. And this brilliantly illustrates what we're talking about. Look at this live market for the World Cup winner. You've got odds constantly adjusting for France, Argentina, Spain, but the platform goes way further than just single bets. It allows users to build combos, so they combine multiple predictions into one massive trade for a much larger, albeit much riskier, payout. It's incredibly gamified, it's highly engaging, and it drives immense volume. We're talking billions of dollars in volume on major events. But, of course, with massive growth comes massive scrutiny. Section 2. The fake website allegations. Now here's where the story takes a pretty dark turn. Investigative journalists started looking into these viral social media videos of people winning massive payouts on Polymarket, and what they found was highly disturbing. First off, it's absolutely crucial to understand how deeply entrenched this industry has become. Caitlin Ostroff, a reporter for the Wall Street Journal who helped break the story, pointed out that even her own parent company, Dow Jones, is actually a partner of Polymarket. CNN and Fox News have partnerships with prediction markets too, so these platforms are deeply, deeply woven into our modern media landscape. Yet, despite those ties, reporters uncovered something they just couldn't ignore. The Wall Street Journal's reporting alleges that Polymarket created a program specifically targeting college-aged creators, asking them to film content promoting the site. But here is the massive catch. They weren't always trading on the real site. Reporters allege Polymarket actually gave these creators access to a replica URL. If you look closely here, on the left, you have the real site. On the right, polymarket.com, but spelled with a capital I instead of an L. On a smartphone camera, when you're just recording a browser screen for social media, those two are completely indistinguishable. You'd never know. So what does this actually mean? Well, this replica site was allegedly used to execute simulated trades. These college creators were reportedly making fake bets, winning fake money, and then posting those videos to social media to make it look like they were getting rich quick. It creates this powerful, highly deceptive illusion that making money on these high-risk combo bets is just super easy and guaranteed, basically hooking unsuspecting viewers right into the platform. And the real-world financial impact of that kind of deception is just staggering. The Wall Street Journal went in and actually analyzed 118 bets shown in these promotional videos, bets that magically appeared to win on screen, where reporters found that more than half of those bets would have actually lost in the real world. To put that into perspective, if a regular user had watched those videos and decided to replicate all those supposedly winning trades with real money, they would have incurred a jaw-dropping $166,000 in debt. So instead of a lucrative college side hustle, users were essentially being advertised a fast track to massive financial ruin. Now, to be fair, when confronted with these allegations, Polymarket did release a statement. They stated they are committed to maintaining accurate, fair, and transparent markets. They noted that they're part of a rapidly growing industry and are constantly evaluating ways to earn the trust of their audience. And in response to the reporting, the company says it plans to conduct a comprehensive audit of their active promotional content. Section 3. Undisclosed influencer payouts. If you thought this might just be, a rogue intern running a misguided college ambassador program, a separate investigation by Politico reporter Maya Kaufman suggests this deception went much, much higher up the corporate ladder. They traced a highly irregular flow of money.
Politico found that Polymarket's chief marketing officer allegedly used a personal PayPal account to send payments directly to content creators. And we aren't talking about spare change here. Reporters verified the identities of about 24 influencers, ranging from progressive to conservative commentators who collectively received hundreds of thousands of dollars. The glaring issue? Their audiences had absolutely no idea these influencers were being paid to hype up Polymarket's odds.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the sheer volume of these undisclosed promotions. Politico's data team ran the numbers and found that over just a 14-month span, these paid influencers posted at least 490 times on X without a single sponsorship disclosure. Polymarket allegedly knew that these posts looked more organic and honestly drove better engagement when they didn't have an ad or sponsored tag slapped on them. And that directly clashes with Federal Trade Commission or FTC guidelines. Federal regulations strictly require influencers to clearly disclose paid promotions to prevent consumer deception. It's a fundamental pillar of advertising transparency. Journalists actually presented a summary of their findings directly to the FTC to ask, hey, does this fall under your rules? The response, total silence. The agency didn't respond to follow-up emails, leaving reporters and the public totally in the dark about whether any regulatory action is actually going to be taken.
Section 4. Investing, forecasting, or gambling. As these investigations ripple through the whole financial tech world, they really force us to ask some fundamental questions about the nature of prediction markets in general, because there is a massive disconnect between the stated mission of these platforms and their marketing realities. On paper, proponents argue these platforms are truth engines, valuable tools for economic hedging and event forecasting. They use sanitized terms, right, like event contracts instead of bets, and combos instead of parlays. But critics are quick to point out that under the hood, the actual growth tactics rely heavily on the casino playbook, exploiting fake bet slips, leveraging simulated riches, and using undisclosed influencers to hook young, impressionable users into really high-risk behaviors.
And make no mistake, this is absolutely not an isolated incident at a single company. It's an industry-wide gold rush. Everyone is scrambling to grab a piece of the pie right now. Reports indicate Meta is rapidly directing teams to create a prediction markets app, potentially using video game points initially just to test the waters. Truth Social is reportedly launching Truth Predict, and rival platforms are aggressively maneuvering for influence. A competitor recently brought on Donald Trump Jr. as a strategic advisor specifically to help grow the industry's reach. The competition is fierce, the money is pouring in, and these stakes are literally incredibly high. Which leaves us with this final question. As billions of dollars flow into these platforms, and as tech giants and political figures alike rush to get involved, we have to decide how we view them. Are prediction markets the ultimate engine for future forecasting, bringing a new level of truth to global events? Or, when stripped of all their lofty financial jargon, are they just a dangerously gamified casino right there in your pocket, relying on deceptive marketing to drain the wallets of everyday users? The investigations are ongoing, and this debate is really just beginning. As always, approach these platforms with extreme caution. Thoroughly research any financial claims you see on social media, and never, ever risk money based solely on an influencer's hype. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and I'll see you next time.